What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my 7 Habits for Music Creators series. In this habit, we will look at habit 4, think, win, win, and explore how to develop the right mindset for success and build sustainable win-win relationship with other people in this music industry. Let's get it. I'm Vaughn, and this is video number 6 in our 7 Habits of Highly Effective Music Creators series. On this channel, we discuss relative music industry topics, provide practical information and resources, and we share tools to help further your music career. If any of these areas interest you, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications, as it helps us to rank higher and make this type of content more available to other music creators just like yourself. Habit 4, think, win, win, is the habit of mutual benefit, working well with others. Habit 4 is based on cooperation by seeking mutual benefit, solutions, problem solving together that would allow everyone to pretty much succeed. This habit is the attitude, right? We're going to call this the attitude that you must have, that is necessary to achieve effective collaboration and build sustainable win-win relationships with people in this music industry. Habit 4 is all about your mindset, right? We talked about that before, your mindset, how you think. The way you think contributes to your interaction, whether positive or negative, with others. I've talked about this many times on, interviews and other things that we talked about, right? So there are 2 main types of mindsets. The first is the abundance, and the other is the scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset says that, if you get some of the pie, I get less. If you get that placement, I won't get a placement. If you get that connection with that particular person, then I won't get one. If I tell you what sounds or what VSTs I use, right, then you probably make a better beat than me. Oh my gosh, right? That's super scarcity minded. Because our culture's basis is competitive in nature, and of course competition is not a bad thing. But what happens is that it often triggers a belief in this scarcity mindset. This belief that there is not enough to go around is self-limiting, right? We always grabbing onto that. Oh, the pie is this big, and if you get some, I can't get any. Scarcity mindset. This type of mindset is definitely prevalent within the music industry, and it's one that leads to ultimate failure. I have personally seen this mindset play out in many interactions, and the results are not good. Whether the relationships are damaged, opportunities are missed, or careers have been destroyed, the scarcity mentality does not work. The second type of mindset is known as the abundance mindset. The abundance mindset says that there's plenty for everyone. If you get a placement, guess what? I can get a placement too. If you make that important connection, I can make an important connection too. There's a sense of maturity that comes with this mindset, as it is needed in order to seek mutual benefit with others. Immature people think with a scarcity mindset. Thinking win-win is the first step in understanding that someone doesn't always have to lose in order for you to win, right? It's not, I'm competing with me, right? I don't have to step on another person in order to get ahead, right? I don't have to beat down somebody else in order to get ahead. So by having this as your dominant mindset, you are constantly seeking out opportunities for mutual benefit in your personal, because it works in your personal life, and also in your professional music career as well. Covey describes 6 paradigms of human interaction, right? How we interact with one another. And you probably are familiar with these as well. The first is win-lose. This mentality is dysfunctional, often overly competitive, and requires the use of power, position, possessions, or personality to get one's way. The reality is that, within our music industry, this is how we largely function, is with this win-lose mentality. Number 2 is lose-win. Lose-win people prefer to keep the peace by giving in or acquiescing, giving up rather than just, working through that relationship, because they don't want to disturb the relationship. They don't really want to say what they want to say. No, so you can put passive aggressiveness in this type of mentality also. But in the long run, it does build up that resentment, which can eventually lead to a breakdown in any type of relationship. The next is lose-lose. Lose-lose is the philosophy of highly immature and scarcity mindseted individuals, and it results from the encounter of 2 win-lose types of people. Covey illustrates this case by a divorce in which the husband is ordered by the judge to sell his assets and turn over half of the earnings to his ex-wife. in compliance. He's like, all right, okay, I'm gonna do that. He sells his car worth 10 grand for 50 bucks and gives his wife $25. That's that mentality right there, lose, lose. If I'm going down, you going down with me. The next is win. People working with the win paradigm wish to win all the time at all costs. Other people don't matter. It's an every man for himself mentality.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Nobody else has to win. I just have to be the person to win. So all four of those are scarcity-minded mentalities, right? Those are the ones you will find prevalent in any type of setting. Most people don't think in an abundance way, so it's not natural to think that way. It's natural, quote unquote, natural to think in the scarcity mindset because we've seen it. We've grown up in that type of environment. We've witnessed it. We've been a part of it. So we're gonna talk about how to adopt a win-win mindset because the next two paradigms of human interaction deal with this win-win mentality. Next is win-win. This is a synergistic situation where both parties can mutually benefit. Win-win takes a certain amount of investment to favor its occurrence. This is work, right? You gotta put in work to achieve a win-win. This is the abundance mentality overall at its best, right here when you're thinking win-win. And the last we're gonna look at is win-win or no deal. This is the case where if a mutually beneficial situation cannot be reached, then both parties agree to disagree and both walk away with no hard feelings. So before we proceed any further with our content, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, of course, and turn on the notification once again, as it helps us to rank higher and make this type of content more available to other music creators just like you. All right, so I'm gonna be the first to tell you, thinking win-win is not an easy thing to do, as it really does challenge you to exercise this new paradigm to seek mutual benefit. Most people don't like to seek mutual benefit. They're all about themselves. And so that becomes a paradigm shift. We talked about that before, a paradigm shift in order to see and think this way. Win-win sees life as a cooperative arena, not a competitive one. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in every interaction that you may have. Win-win means agreements or solutions are mutually, the key, mutually beneficial and satisfying. We both get to eat the pie and it tastes pretty friggin' awesome. It's not you get some, I get some. We eat the pie together, right? We win together. Well, B-Vaughn, come on now. You can't possibly think win-win all the time, right? Especially within the music industry. I gotta step on people, right? I gotta put people down. I gotta outshine others, right? Come on now. Keep in mind that this is a habit and it requires consistent practice. Thinking in this new way does not happen overnight. You're not gonna wake up and be like, well, I'm now a win-win mindset type of person. It doesn't happen that way. It takes persistence and practice, not only with yourself, but also with others. Because trust me, other people are not thinking win-win and you are thinking win-win. So it is gonna take effort and time and energy. Thinking win-win is an action verb, which means that this is the mindset that you are using when you approach conflict. I have seen and heard of many effective relationships within the music industry that were started due to this abundance mentality. Immature people think in this competitive and scarcity mentality, which may work in the short term, but it's gonna absolutely fall apart in the long run. So how does one go about seeking win-win relationships? Well, there's certainly a time and place for win-lose and lose-win in our dealings with others, such as in competitive sports, right? Because competitive sports operate from, that competitive nature. Even though if you really think about it, there are some win-win, thought processes that go behind competitive sports, but somebody gotta lose, somebody gotta win, pretty much. But Covey believes in the win-win dynamic is the one we should strive for the most, since it is the only one in which you get what you want and you get to strengthen the relationship over the long term. Seeking win-win relationships is the key to helping you achieve maturity, a firm, well-sorted posture that promotes well-being and success in I'm gonna say it once again, every area of your life, not just the music part of your life. The idea that you can get where you're going alone is the product of ego, and ego is the enemy. Oh man, I did a whole, 5 things that will kill your career video, and ego has its own section. Ego is what keeps you at bay. It is what stops you from having productive and meaningful relationships. It is what stops that music executive from returning your emails. It is what stops that potential manager from joining your team. It is what will stop that A&R from giving you any time of day. It is what stops you. Ego is not your friend. A healthy ego is fine, right? Go watch my other video where I talk about that. But this type of ego that is rooted in win-lose or lose-lose or any of those scarcity type mentality is not good. You must develop humility. You ever wonder why you see like artists who are super well known and they're super humble, but you got those people who are independent just making it and they got like the biggest heads in the world? Because over time, these artists, now I'm not saying all of them, right? Because there are some artists who are at that big top level who are still jerk butts, but the majority of them have developed humility, which in turn develops their maturity, your maturity. Acknowledging the way you rely on others to exist and succeed demonstrates not only a cleared-eye realism, but a sober humility. When you're young or immature at any age, you feel the world revolves around you. This is too often the case. People have this entitlement thing. But when you seek win-win relationships, you recognize that other people have goals that are just as real as yours. You recognize their individuality. When you go through life trying to make relationships win-lose, you can certainly get what you want in the short term, right? I mean, it'll work in the very short term, but you're gonna damage that relationship. You're gonna burn bridges and often sabotage your chances of success in the long term. Seeking a win-win situation involves putting in the effort up front to make sure that not only do you get what you want, but the other person does too. That's tough, right? Thinking about the other person. In this way, so that you not only benefit in the moment, but you benefit down the line also. Finally, it requires you to be assertive, not aggressive. Assertive, there's a difference. Being assertive means balancing courage and consideration. The willingness and ability to speak your thoughts and feelings respectfully, and courage, the willingness and ability to seek and listen to others' thoughts and feelings with respect. You gotta balance those two, courage and consideration. So before we move on to our next video, habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. You know what I'm gonna say. Take a moment, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell to be notified of new content, and I will see you, of course, in the next video.